Hey folks, just a little thought. Throughout history, nations have risen from obscurity, and a few, because of certain strengths, the character of their people, the principles which guided them, or the ruthlessness or audacity of their leaders, rose to positions of great power and world leadership. There were the ancient Greek, Assyrian, Babylonian, Persian, and Roman empires. There were the Spanish, British, and Soviet empires, the temporary rise and fall, in less than 15 years, of the Nazi Empire, the rise of the Japanese Empire in East and Southeast Asia, and the Pacific in the 1930s and 40s. Some of these empires rose and dominated either the world or at least the geopolitics of their day in a particular region of the world, ruling for a little as a dozen or so years up to a few hundred years. But in all cases, these empires or great world powers crumbled from within and fell from internal decay, corruption, immorality, wicked leadership, or abandonment of the principles which made them great. In some instances, they debauched their currency. In some, they debauched their culture. In others, they spread themselves too thin militarily. But in all of them, they became weak in their character, commitment, and culture, and first collapsed from within, and were then conquered or subjugated by stronger, more aggressive, more determined enemies from without. The greatest of these nations, or empires, throughout 6,000 years of recorded history, however, has been the United States of America, which was founded over 230 years ago on the biblical principles of freedom, justice, and morality. When a nation follows these principles, it prospers, as America did for over 2 centuries. When it abandons these principles, as we have over the past 30 years, it falters, as America is presently doing, and another nation or empire emerges to replace it. Today, America has turned its back on the faith of its fathers and the principles of freedom, justice, and morality, which make us a great nation. As a people, we can no longer tell the difference between good and evil, right versus wrong, as rampant promiscuity, alternate lifestyles, free choice, divorce, alcoholism, drug addiction, corruption in government and business, materialism and greed are now dominating and destroying the fabric of our once great country and culture. In our blind pursuit of wealth, prosperity, entertainment, and the good, easy, pain-free life, we have forgotten, we have abandoned God and all the principles which made us a great nation and people. And so, like the Roman Empire and its death throes, we have begun to decline very rapidly, financially, economically, culturally, and spiritually. We are rapidly losing our freedom, and most Americans can't even comprehend it. Our currency is sick and failing, signaling that the rest of the world sees and understands our decline. Our borders are being dissolved. Our leadership is weak, corrupt, immoral, self-seeking, and in some instances traitorous to our Constitution and national interests or sovereignty. And so the baton is being rapidly passed to another emerging superpower and eventual empire, China. Within a decade, what is not comprehended by most smug, self-satisfied Americans today will be a reality. The mantle of world leadership will have passed from America to China. During this decade, America's leadership is likely to become even more self-serving, corrupt, and despotic. And Americans are likely to lose, or more likely surrender, most of what is left of their freedoms in the name of fighting terrorism. And yes, under the guise of fighting terrorism and the compulsion to establish a new regional government, such as the North American Union, our demise is likely to happen much more rapidly than even the well-informed presently conceived. Something to think about, folks. Something to really think about. Peace.